Practicing jazz improvisation usually means for us practicing new scales, new chords, new licks, etc. But have you ever had the feeling that in spite of all the things you've practiced already, once the time comes and you're up for your solo, you don't know what to play? In other words, you just don't feel inspired? If you felt like this in the past, you're not alone. Many jazz improvisers have the same issues. I also know how it feels to just don't know what to play. There are things though that you can do to change that and get your inspiration back. And it doesn't even need a lot of practicing. In this video I will show you how to get your inspiration back and at the same time make your solos more interesting and compelling. The key to all of this is focusing on the broader musical aspects instead of getting hung up on all the details. Let me show you what I mean. The number one mistake I see improvisers making over and over again is that when it's time for their solo, they just play and play without leaving any breaks in between. I think that we all have been guilty at some point of just overplaying, and this can be a real inspiration killer for you as a soloist yourself. But it's actually very easy to change that. What we need to practice is called pacing. And pacing means basically the length of your phrases and the breaks in between. To show you a little bit more how much an impact it can have to have great pacing or bad pacing, let me show you first a bad example of pacing and then a good example of pacing. So what did I do differently at the good example? I kept it interesting, meaning that I varied the length of my phrases and the length of the breaks in between. And how you can break out yourself of overplaying and always playing the same length of phrases and so on is by setting yourself limits. For example, you can say that you always play one bar, then rest one bar, then play again one bar, rest one bar, and so on. This might feel pretty natural to you still, but you could also try to play 2 bars, then rest 1 bar, play 2 bars and so on. With this, we really break out of the 4-bar structure that we usually play in. You can try out many different combinations, also playing for 5 bars, resting for 2 or whatever else comes to your mind. And when you practice this, you will notice that you will come up with new ideas and that you will get really inspired for your next solo. The next aspect I want to talk about is range. Any good composer knows that it makes a big difference if you play a melody in a higher octave or a lower octave. And we as improvisers should also not forget about the effect the range can have. So what you can try out when you play your next solo is to consciously decide in which range you want to play. In the lower range, the higher range, or the middle range of your instrument. You could, for example, start in the lower range of your instrument and then go up step by step to build tension and build up to a climax. Or you could also use sudden changes in your range as a contrast. So you could play something in the higher range of your instrument and then suddenly switch to the lower range of your instrument. Just try to experiment and you will notice that this will really boost your ideas and get you inspired again. The third aspect I want to focus on is fast versus slow playing. You've probably heard before that jazz is all about rhythm, and in a broader sense, rhythm is faster or slower playing. And this aspect can make all the difference in your playing. Let's listen again to a bad example of this and then to a better example. So what you could try yourself is to play a solo and then consciously control if you want to play very slow, meaning whole notes or half notes, or you want to play a bit faster, quarter notes or eighth notes, or you want to play really fast, so for example 16th notes. What I would recommend to you is to really take it to the extremes and really contrast really slow playing versus really fast playing, just to get a feeling of what big of a difference it makes. And if you feel like you're not able to play so fast, just for the sake of the exercise, you can also compensate this by, for example, using a trill or just faking and moving your fingers really fast, just to get a feeling for the whole thing. So those three things, pacing, the range you're playing in, and fast versus slow playing, can really provide you with lots of new ideas and a lot of inspiration for your soloing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to click the like button and follow me for future videos like this. And if you want to learn more about one of the biggest misconceptions beginners have about improvisation, make sure to check out this video next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.